I want to cover three things really. First is what is actually changing in finance. And my perspective, by the way, is going to come from the investment management side of finance, where we manage people's monies and we make returns and we get a fee for it. I don't know how much you know about this business. Typically, when people talk about finance, there are three or four things. One is corporates, where you are managing the P&L following a CFO path. Then is investment banking, where you work in large banks where you do transactions of buying and selling companies, bringing them to IPO and things like that. That's another side. Third side is on the trading floor, where you may be involved in the stock exchange, you may be involved in research. And there's a fourth side of finance, which is managing money, which is people say, hey, I've got some money to manage. What do you do? Like fund management houses here, like wealth managers here. There's a lot of layers of finance. I come from the fund management and investment management side of things, and that's my experience. So I want to talk about what's changing in finance from my perspective. Second is, where is the opportunity? Is there an opportunity for you, or is there a problem, or is there a big problem, or whatever? And third, more tangibly for you guys, what you should be doing, at least from my point of view again. So who thinks AI will make it harder to get a good job in finance? Who thinks it make it easier? Okay, so there's one hand which said, or two hands which are saying easier, or more hands. Actually, that's very good. Anyway, so there are some people who think it is harder, some people who think it's easier. Now, I want more hands in this one, please. Who's used AI in anything finance related? Anything. It could be case studies, it could be your, so quite a few hands have gone up. Okay, interesting. Okay. No, the professors are not watching. I mean, it's nothing. You could use it for your own personal finances. So it's not necessarily for your courses. Now, second question, who is confident that they're doing it better than the peers? Who is confident that they're doing it better than their peers? I think quarter of the previous hands. I thought so as well. And I thought that's going to be the thing. There is this gap. There are people who are using AI, but there are people who are not using AI well enough or to a level enough that they're better than the others. And I think that's the gap I'm going to talk about to you guys. AI is easy. Using AI is, you put things in Chat GPT and you get something, you cloud and you get something. Now, coming to your points, maybe having in your heads, is it a good time to be in finance or is it a bad time to be in finance? Good, bad. Okay, good wale haath khade kar dein, please. Anyone? So enough people saying good and bad. You wouldn't be here if you're saying bad, right? I mean, it's like, that's a bad question from my side. But I think this is what people are seeing. There's a lot of, if I move around, can you hear me? So there are a lot of things which are being talked about, layoffs, entry level jobs, worry about am I good or not, and junior level jobs are junior level jobs going away or whatever else. This is what we see in the press. You've seen Oracle firing people. You probably followed that, right? What I think is a slightly different view of the world, and I'm with the guys who were saying yes, it's good for us. It's like, I think finance is in a very early stage, or at least the AI adoption in finance is in a very early stage. AI is a benefit as well. It's a 10x leverage to whoever is curious and wants to do it. And third is, you just need to learn things differently. And for us, the biggest thing is insight. Insight is the most important thing, not data processing. But that's my view. But again, we'll. And the other thing is, if people are getting negative on what's happening in AI, sab kuch khatam ho jayega, jobs chali jayengi, and this and that, I am very positive the human species. And I'm going a little philosophical, but I think like that because it's needed. Because otherwise, you'll get lost. We make things. It got dark. Compare yourself with a dog. Not in a bad way, but just dog as a species. वो बेचारे में जब रात होती है वो बेचारा सो जाता है. That's what they can do. We don't do that. We say, अच्छा, fire. We had candles, then we made electricity. 12 बजे तक भी काम करूंगा मैं. अंधेरा हो गया, क्या हो गया? What's the problem? Same thing. Rain. What will happen to the dog? बेचारा वहीं बैठेगा. Right? He'll sit outside. No change. For thousands of years. We said, no, we don't do that. We said, we'll go to a cave, then we'll build a hut, then we'll build nice buildings. Right? Cheetah was faster than us. We said, oh, okay, koi baat nahi. We'll build cars. We can beat the cheetah. And all in this, what was going on was tools. We had tools, and tools made us powerful, stronger. AI is also just another tool, in my view. What is this tool? First of all, what is it? What is AI? Can anybody answer? What is it? Everybody talks about AI. What is it? Anyone answering? Okay. She's saying AI. Thank you. AI is a machine. It does exactly what the human does, but without emotions. That's a good way of putting it. Any other thoughts? Okay. I'll explain to you briefly what the large language model. Absolutely correct. What is it? You know what I'm going to prove? So this is a tool we are using. So I'm coming back to this previous slide. This AI is just another tool for us humans. So I'm very bullish humans. And so I'll give you an example of what an LLM does. I think what you said is more or less correct, but not correct to the extent that it doesn't think. I'll prove it. I'll try to prove it, or at least. So how does it work? It takes the whole knowledge of the world, internet and everything, puts it together, does some stuff, and comes up with an answer. Right? It has the whole knowledge of the world and tries to answer your question. Right? Now, what if the knowledge of the world was only these 4 sentences? First sentences, that's all. There is nothing else on the internet. These are the 4 things that are there on the internet. Let's say Sun is a star at the center of solar system. Stars produce energy through nuclear fusion. Sun's energy reaches Earth in light and heat. Without sun, there will be no life. These are the 4 sentences. That's all the world knowledge that is. Now, what does an LLM do? So you give it a question, where does the sun's energy come from? And you get a very good answer. Right? Sun produces energy through nuclear fusion based on the knowledge it had, this knowledge which I've talked about. Now I'll tell you how it works briefly. I won't take too much time. So the first 5 words, let's see what it does. So it's actually predicting. It's never understood your question. There is nothing called understanding in AI. It's just a statistical tool. It is just advanced statistics at the end of the day. It just predicts the next word. So it's taken the question and then it's predicted the first word. It says the, because the most common opening for this kind of question is the. So sabse pehle the laga diya usne. Sun, and see this. This is the probability of the word, next word. So from the context that I gave it, sun was there in the question, sun is there in my knowledge. So next word is sun, 68% probability, right? Next word is produces, because the data had this thing, stars produce energy. It's picked it up. Are you able to understand what I'm saying? Same thing like the next few. So it's just predicting the next word. It's not understood anything. It's just a statistical tool. Now, if you think it knows it all and you start asking, AI Baba, please answer karo, you will get garbage because it doesn't understand anything. So that's the tool we are dealing with. But I'm very positive on this tool still. But, key thing is this. I'll make 2 or 3 key points. One is this. AI on its own is not an advantage. It's how you think with it. That is the advantage. How you use it. What questions you ask. How much you know that this guy can do for you. What can you not rely on? Right? Now, let's do a case study, which you may also do in your classes. I, as my analysts in Delhi, we've got a bunch of analysts. I go to them saying, hey, is company ke baare mein information chahiye. I need to understand about this new company. I give them an annual report. I'm going to ask you a question. What would your first question be if I give you the annual report in PDF and I say, use ChatGPT or whatever you want to use? You can read it or you can use ChatGPT. You can use whatever. What's the first question anybody's going to ask? You can raise your hand and tell me your question. What do you think? What will you ask the GPT? Is company profitable or not? Financial position of the company? I need the answer. I need the answer now. So I need the GPT. So basically, you will have to use the GPT somehow or Claude or whatever. Anybody else? Very good. Very good. Good set of questions. I think, some of these questions are like, is the company profitable? Is it going to be, is it a good company or a bad company? That is a question which most analysts will ask. Right? So is that going to be your differentiation? Now, what you can do, or the experts can do, is slightly different. You can ask, what is the risk which the management is not talking about in this? इसमें बात किस चीज की नहीं कर रहे? What is missing? If you find that, you will get a top quality answer. So how you think with AI is going to be more important. Your thinking is very important. The questions you ask is very important. And for that, you need to understand what is important. Because तब ये कहेंगे कि मेरे को बताओ इसकी रिपोर्ट रिसर्च करके बताओ, is it a good company to buy or a bad company to buy? That's not what it is. The first thing is that. Second thing is, I'm very positive on the financial industry and the use of AI, for 2 reasons. I was telling somebody earlier, companies like BlackRock, big banks and all that, they've got huge advantages. They've got data from Bloomberg, expensive sources coming to them. They've got a team of IT people who are creating models for them. They've got a bunch of big analysts who understand companies very well. And then they have all the technology tools that they need in the past. But with AI, is BlackRock using any different model than you and me in ChatGPT? How much does it cost to get a ChatGPT premium? $20, $200, whatever you say. But you can afford it. करना चाहे company afford कर सकती है. So now the big guys don't have that advantage, as much advantage as you had. You do need smart people. The second thing is these companies are actually behind the curve. I don't know if you know, but BlackRocks and all are good. But there's a whole bunch of our industry, and I track it. None of them have started using AI in their systems. They haven't. And I'm telling you, I mean, we've implemented it, but a lot of people are not. So there's a lot of inertia still. And World Economic Forum says that there are going to be that many new jobs that are going to be created in finance. Yes, there are some jobs that are going to get automated. Some basic jobs of data collection and all. You don't have to go and read the annual report to find something now because that is available. Can give you data. Some basic modeling can go away, but that is going away. But as I said, AI gets very few things wrong. AI cannot a lot of times give me correct numbers even now, even with the best models. Who's making the judgment on management quality? Not the AI. It's just giving me a narrative. Then sometimes it gives me the wrong narrative. If it's a salesperson. If I say, hey, is this a good company? They will say, yeah, these are the 5 factors. If I ask the question, is it a bad company? I think it is a bad company. He'll start answering, yeah, you're right, I've got this. What is it? Excuse my French, it's a BS manufacturer in some cases. Because as I said, what it relies on is no understanding. It is just trying to predict the next word based on your question. So I think there is a lot of opportunity. And then where humans will win, and this is where I want to come back, is for you to have insights. Insights are like, insights are not data. Like data तो बहुत सारा है. Insight is like, इंडिया में अगर आपको ये करना है तो उसके लिए ये करना पड़ेगा. There is I can give you an example of an insight, but basically in my business, let's say I take an example. Our insight was that this AI trend is very big and it's going to be massive and people are underestimating what this thing is. It's based on a lot of data. It's based on a lot of work, but that gives us a lot of conviction on certain stocks because this trend is very big and people are missing it still. So anyway, that's an example of an insight based on a lot of data, but forming a view, having conviction. What happens, we buy stocks or we buy anything, then they fall 40%. Then my analyst is going to say, sir, I made, this was wrong. This was a wrong call and all that. Then I'm stuck. I have no conviction in that. Whereas when the stock falls 40%, my analyst and my work, we've done a lot of work on this company. We say, hey, I think market is missing it. It will come back eventually because the company is good. We have very high conviction. We hold it. We even buy more and we benefit from it. That AI will never give you. So there is that. I'll give you examples of how we are using it on a day-to-day basis. I have a team of 5 analysts here in Delhi and then few analysts in Abu Dhabi. We have a few data analysts as well. But I'll just tell you how it was 5 years ago and how it is now for us. In some cases, small cases. I don't know if you can see it, but basically 5 years ago, I used to ask a junior analyst to summarize a company. What does a company do? How much market share do we have? What is their profitability? All that stuff. Build a basic model, write the sector analysis on this company or the sector and come back to me. And that used to be a 10-day job for a new company. Now I'm there within minutes, actually. Now you'll say, very bad news. But what are my analysts doing now? They are asking deeper questions. So my level 1 analyst, the junior analyst starting year 1, is doing a year 3 analyst job, actually. He's thinking, he or she is thinking. He's saying, how's the management quality? What's my conviction on this company? How much sensitivity should I apply to my models? Detailed work. So he's graduated. He's not gone down. He's not out, right? There was a technical analyst we used to have. I mean, we still have him. That guy used to, do these charts. I don't know if you've heard of charts and stuff like technical analysis, buy, sell, moving average, whatever. I still don't understand it, right? I don't believe in it, but that guy, we asked him to create an agent. So we have a team of people who are creating an agent for us. In fact, this agent is very funny. It's very interesting. We have 2 agents. One is a bullish agent and one is a bearish agent. They then interact with each other. And then there's a third agent, which is a judge, which decides, I like this argument more, and then gives me the answer. Now, this agent was developed by the same analyst. What is he doing now? He's doing risk management. He's looking at the overall portfolio. He's doing other things. So, and then, hello? Hiya. Lastly, we have some machine learning models and other things which required IIT graduates to handle them. No longer. My normal MBA finance analysts, they've been able to modify this, change this, create algos. They don't need to know Python. They don't need to know anything. They've got ChatGPT or Claude, in this case, Claude, and they're able to work on it. Positive or negative? I don't know. What do you think, guys? Are you positive now? Negative now? Positive? Medium? क्या थे? Negative. You know what yeah, so that is called inertia. In corporate world, what happens, what is the best in class doesn't necessarily get implemented. Do you know some of the largest banks in the world still have mainframe computers? Do you know what mainframe computers are? Room as big as this, which has massive beasts sitting there. These computers only, code in a language. You need to code in a language called COBOL, which nobody knows now. Those systems are still running on those mainframes even now. Those were out of date 50 years ago. Corporate inertia, you don't know. When you're outside, you think सब BlackRock वाले ये कर रहे होंगे. I'm not saying BlackRock's not doing it. BlackRock is one of the largest firms. Within some division of BlackRock, they will be doing it, but it's not across the board. And then there are tens of BlackRock is a $11 trillion asset manager. There are others, $200 billion asset managers not doing anything. I know a lot of people in London, a lot of portfolio managers in London, not even close. They're just using it just to check and summarize. They're not using it for anything big. So that inertia, you don't know how long it can take. So what should you guys do? I mean, that's probably more important to you. And from my point of view, what should be what you do, right? To me, I think you should, and going back on this one, just a second. I want to go back on this one. I get a lot of CVs of people applying, for internships, for jobs and stuff. Most of them, the CVs are here. My work has moved there. So it's not that they don't have the right skills, but that skill, this part is missing. None of the CVs, none of the projects, none of the things talk about, I have used AI to create this. All the CVs saying, I worked as an intern in whatever firm and this and that, and I know what that firm is doing. It's just the same old work. My clear instructions to my team is, इसके पास ये दिखेगा नहीं मेरे पास, don't send the CV to me. I'm just telling you how I start thinking. We are a small firm. In the world of asset management, we manage 700 million, वो 7,000 crore, जो भी इंडिया में बड़ा number लगता है. But BlackRock manages $11 trillion. वो क्या सोच रहे होंगे अगर हम ये सोच रहे हैं, maybe not BlackRock, maybe some other firm, what are other firms starting to think of? I think they are starting to think of this. They're saying, ये तो मेरे पास है to me today. If you don't bring this, there's a problem. I think there is a problem. So I think first thing you should be doing is AI first workflows. First of all, you have to be interested in this area. You can't be not interested in finance and not interested in if you want a stock market or whatever. Is Infosys a good company or a bad company? Think through with the AI, right? Then develop something saying, Acha, I've asked these questions. Can the same questions apply to TCS? Can the same questions apply to Infosys or ICICI Bank? Can the same questions apply to... Make an AI workflow on your own, right? And it'll be useful because that's a prompt chain, right? It's not hard. Everybody can do it. Second, very important is develop a point of view. Think through it. Think about something, anything, be it a sector, be it a stock, be it an economy, be it Chandigarh, be it whatever. Build a view on something. Well thought of, researched. You don't have to do the research, by going to libraries and stuff. You ChatGPT and basically asking questions. Do that. I would say create a judgment, and it doesn't have to be right or wrong. It does not matter. When I ask, one of the questions I ask people, when they interview me, I go, okay, so give me a stock recommendation or something which you like. Anything. It can be Tata Steel. It can be, whatever, ICICI Bank, or it could be a small cap, or it could be property. मैं कहता हूँ आप मेरे को आपके घर के पास की property के बारे में बता दो. If you think that is a good investment, that's also fine. Explain to me why. And you know what happens with smart people like you? What happens is वो 3 point बोलेंगे, चौथा point बोलेंगे, उसके बाद they have no idea. You ask them one question, lost. That shows me that there is no depth of thinking. That is missing. One needs to just think through. So you had the choice of stock you wanted. I didn't say कि मेरे को इस stock के बारे में बता. You had the choice. You had all the time in the world. You are going for an investment management interview. You had all the time in the world to prepare for it. You even have the tools. फिर भी आपने नहीं किया. अब मैं क्या करूं फिर? I can't do anything. You need to do it, right? Third, बहुत मुश्किल काम है actually. Read. Not many people do it. Us, we don't do it. We like to consume, not read. Right? If you don't read, have you heard of Warren Buffett? Everyone heard? What is he? Investor. And he's probably worth, I think, $100 billion or whatever, right? You know what he said? How old is he? You know, very old. He's very old for us as well. He's around 90s, like late 90s, 95, 96, right? You know what he says? He reads 500 pages every day. Even now, 500 pages. He has $100 billion to run. 500 pages, 5 pages. I think reading is in this world of AI, this is, I don't think so. So some of the skills are not going away. It is the same things, but require even more focus. Reading, thinking. A lot of times see the news in India. I don't even read these economic times and all. It's just basically you look at it and say, this fact does not lead to this conclusion. How did they come about it? And somehow it's just put out that way. Nobody's thinking. Even journalists aren't thinking. Even some of the other things they're not thinking. And this is going to be a skill. As I said, thinking with AI is going to be the important thing for you. And agar think ही नहीं करोगे तो AI को क्या करोगे? And ask better questions, not just to me, but others as well. And then lastly, I would say, build a proof of work. आप किसी इंटरव्यू के लिए जाते हो, as I said, you need to have something to say कि भाई I covered, I have my own portfolio, even if I have invested, 10,000 rupees in it, right? You need to have something to, what is your interest? Like what, you just want a job, fine. But what is your interest? I'm saying don't even buy anything. Go create a stock note, stock portfolio, एक stock पे note बनाओ, publish it, right? Track it, right? Show it to people, show how you think. I think these are important skills. And one thing which I have not mentioned here is you absolutely need to improve communication skills. आपको जो समझ में आया, I mean, I was pretty weak. I was just an engineer जिसको कुछ नहीं आता था, but we used to like just write reports and bullet points and just send it out. I had to learn, relearn, and unlearn, and whatever else. Everybody has to have better communication skills. आप वो हिंदी में बोलो, इंग्लिश में वो irrelevant to me. If you are clear, it will show up. Communication also involves language and all that, which you can always improve. Course kar lo yaar, kya ho gaya? How much does it cost? I think those are my messages to you. I don't have anything else, but I don't know if you have any questions or if you any questions. Okay, first yours.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Nan Sharma. I'm from MBA Finance. My question to you is like, as you're from IB background, investment banking background, and also like, according to your experience, how is AI influencing the deal sources and target identification whenever it's in mergers and acquisitions?
Yeah, great question. Actually, I know of the industry. I'm no longer in that, but I can answer because we also have private equity, which gets involved in the similar kind of things where you are buying and selling companies. Actually, and I've seen how people are implementing things in AI in that. There are three main things that I think they're doing. One is a lot of private company data and the investment memos that they call it IMs, those information memorandums. Those are like 400-page documents. Used to be very complicated to go through one or even create one. Now with AI, it's becoming very easy. Second is identification of companies has become even easier. Like I want a company in this particular sector who does this and which has the EBITDA of this. Well, you'll start getting answers. May not be the best, but as a good start. So they're doing a lot of deal sourcing, starting to get there. And then thirdly, news flow and all that they are picking up. And there are these you can set up kind of filters which kind of say, oh, there's this deal happened in that area, or give me you can even write a prompt, very simple prompt. Give me what deals happened last week in my space, and here's the deal and all the details. So a lot of that is happening. So there was a question that side.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Suhana Kapoor. I'm from IPM batch. So my question is that you talked about the positives of AI in finance. So what do you think are the risks that will be involved if we use too much AI?
Very good question, actually. I did not want it to be super positive. I wanted you to be a little bit more realistic about things. First thing is, if you don't use this tool, you'll be left behind. That's the first thing. And that's the biggest negative for you. You don't employ this tool today versus your competition is doing it. You are not using it, your problem. You have the tool, doesn't cost much. It needs that thinking. You need to keep trying and seeing this answer is not right. This answer is right. That's the biggest downside, I think. If you don't, because one thing is sure, we tried to compete with this at some stage, given up long ago. I'm not competing with this. I'm friends with it and partnering with it. That's all I'm doing. So you better do that. If not, you'll be that one column on the left, which is the old thing, which people will just not even look at. So that's the basic. I think that's the biggest risk. Second risk is like you outsource your thinking to this tool, and which a lot of people are doing, and which is why I gave that example of what is this tool? That tool is just predicting. It's just a statistical regression model of some sort, right? Who understands nothing. He understands nothing. If you outsource your thinking to that guy, gone. Because what's happening is I'm seeing this. I'm seeing you ask questions to people and they say, I asked Chat. They have no idea. It's like in the past, किसी को कहते थे कि आपके घर कैसे जाना है, तो यू यूज्ड टू से ये इस सेक्टर में है, यहाँ से लेफ्ट लोगे और फिर आ जाओगे. अब लोगों को पता हो कि पूछो कि कैसे आते हो, सर पता नहीं जीपीएस लगा दिया था, आ गए हम, राइट? इट वर्क्स देयर, बट डोंट आउटसोर्स, डोंट यू एवर आउटसोर्स योर थिंकिंग in this space, because you'll not gonna, that तो कोई और भी कर सकता है ना. Same answer, somebody else can ask the same question and get it. What is your differentiation? Those are my two things I would say.
I have another question.
Please.
So, what roles in investment firms do you think will be affected the most by AI in the next 5 to 10?
All roles, including mine. If I don't learn, I'm out of business. So every role. But every role, there is that plus that I mentioned. If you're able to do the right things, you can be the X guy, the year 3 analyst straight away. That's the thing. I think every job, and there's no, tell me what area, because this thing starts to, what we didn't have before is we could not summarize unstructured data. We couldn't do, we couldn't, I would say there was no way we could write a report without, we couldn't write a report without humans previously. Or we couldn't write coding. No coding was done without humans previously. All that is gone. The best engineers are saying, especially since December this year, December 25, things have dramatically changed. We've been using AI since 2 years, 2.5 years. But December 25 onwards, something has dramatically changed. Something called Claude has come in, and Claude has just changed a lot of workflow. There's a lot, and by the way, there will be new jobs that will be created in finance. A guy who's in finance is able to do coding. I can do my own coding now. I mean, okay, I used to code in the past, but I've forgotten and all that. But now I can test things on my own. So there'll be a lot of things which will be created, but at the same time, the biggest risks are, as I mentioned, if you don't learn or if you outsource your thinking, then God bless. Anything else? Anybody else has a question? Sorry. At the very end.
Good afternoon, sir.
Hi.
Sir, AI can generate DCF models like working models. So, how often do you guys use those models to do rebalances in the client's portfolio?
Great question, actually. What we do is I get my analysts to run a very quick DCF using AI. You can get a very good, simple answer, but I can never rely on it. We don't rely on it at all. It's just a good estimate to give you something, but we don't rely on it because I'll tell you why. It's because of the way AI works. I explained to you before. Let's say you ask about, is Infosys a good stock? Now, what is the knowledge base of this AI for that question? It is investment bank reports. It is teenager writing about Infosys. It's Instagram about Infosys. It is some technical analyst writing about Infosys. It's random people. And what this AI does is makes an average of that answer and give it to you. How can you rely on it? I cannot rely on it. It does a very quick and dirty job of creating something, but I can do nothing with it, which I don't know if you understand, but that's what I said. My analysts used to take 10 days to create one of these DCFs from scratch. Now it's done in 15 minutes, but I can't rely on it. They need to do much more deep work. You need to check a lot of numbers. A lot of numbers are wrong in the DCF. And so basically it's like, it's a tool which shows you something, but you cannot rely on it unless you do your own work and your own thinking on top of it. I hope I answered that question.
Good afternoon, sir. Having the industry since the mid 2000s, how has your approach to risk management evolved after witnessing multiple global economic cycles?
Yeah, it's a different. Yeah, you asked me a different kind of question, but yes, one thing people don't realize in investment management is what a 70% decline means. It looks very simple, like, if somebody's portfolio is down 70%. What does that even mean? I'll tell you what that means. आपने मुझे 100 rupees दिए, मैं आपको 30 from 30 going back to 100, I need to triple my money. Triple, right? 70% decline is no-go. That's my biggest learning. You cannot have that. It just looks, on paper, it looks very simple. But people have heart attacks and they lose all their money and the portfolios are gone and everything. So it's a very painful thing. You've absolutely lost your money for a long period of time. That is unacceptable and you need to avoid it. GFC, global financial crisis, stock market went down 40% in 2 months. 40%. Again, the same thing. 100 has become 60. 60 to 100 is, another 80%, 70%. Right? 70% kaise laoge? Right? Biggest learning is try to cap your drawdowns. Drawdowns means don't let your portfolio go down that much. Cut it. Lose 20% and cut it. But losing, because I've also seen many cases. There were lots of guys who used to come to me saying, "Oh, sir, down ho gaya, to kharid lo, and ab to upside hi hai." That went down another 80% from there. You do the math. Actually, it can, right? It will. So these are things which people don't know. So risk management is very important. Most important in risk management. So first thing I mentioned is cap your downside risk. Second is know your companies well. If you know your companies, that's the best risk management.
Thank
Please,
you,
sir.
sir.
It's okay. Just to add to what she has asked.
Yeah. Okay.
For investing somebody else's money, you talk about 100 rupees earning 30.
I haven't returned that, but
How do you convince your company officials when the market is going down? You know that 1% decline in the market, you ultimately loses 50 to 55 billion dollars, right? How do you convince your officials at the corporates that okay, hang on, guys, we still have a time, and their money is already being eroded from the market.
It's a very good question, and thank you for that. It's just the most difficult question in asset management because finally I can say मेरा portfolio बड़ा अच्छा है, मेरा risk management बड़ा अच्छा है, मेरा process बहुत अच्छा है. But finally, who is my real stakeholder? Is this guy who's given me money, right? If this guy is not happy, he will take my money back. I don't have a business. As simple as that. So that's the biggest stakeholder to manage. And you rightly said it's psychological, but actually it is more than that. How we tackle it is first, we don't go for. If somebody doesn't know that somebody says, invest my money in equities, first thing I tell them, are you happy to lose 25% or 30% of your money? Because that is a normal thing that can happen to anything. You look at big stocks like Nvidia and everything which people talk about. Nvidia stock went up and then it's down 40% and then it's up 40% and then it's so how do I day to day talk about that? First thing is we try to choose our investors who at least know the picture already. Right? That's one. Second is they have seen us in process. We keep regular communication with them. Like we've had 2 cases of drawdowns recently. Last year, March, when Mr. Trump came in and he said tariff everywhere, and stock market started tanking and all that. That was one. Second one is this Iran war, which came out of nowhere. Oil price shot up and all. Yeah. Now these are things outside the control of anyone, right? But they happened. What we did, we kept on doing is, by the way, we spend a lot of time on this on a daily basis. Our calls where we discuss all these scenarios, and we kept communicating with them that we think, yes, the tariffs will be implemented. It will be a one-off hit, but the economy is fine and the companies which have these are fine. We have looked at all of our companies. So give them a bit of reassurance through our process. And then lastly is the actions show in the results eventually. So we actually added a lot of, we had spare cash, which we added at the lows last year. Benefited a lot to those clients, and they can see that over the cycles that we do well. But yes, stakeholder management is the tricky part. It's just not very easy. It's the hard part, actually. So thank you for that question. Anyone else? Anji, sorry. Maybe next one.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes.
My question is, companies like Nvidia and Microsoft have seen the massive growth because of AI in the recent years. So what are the major risks that investors should watch before investing in these AI-driven companies?
There are lots of risks. First is that usually what happens in these cycles is people started overvaluing these companies. Oh, it's great, so it's going to be great next year. It's going to be great next year. It's going to be great next year, and so on. And when I look at analysts, the stock market, the street analysts, Goldman Sachs, all these guys, what they do is if revenues are going up this year, they jack up revenues for the next 20 years in their DCF. And that is a problem. And that can be that can lead to a bubble kind of a situation in that. But I don't think that's the case right now. For instance, in Nvidia and stuff, there's a very strong product cycle. Revenues are growing and all that. So that's one. What are the other risks? I think the other risk is really, can I tell you one of the biggest risks? I don't know if you've thought about it. The biggest risk to this is China. You know why? Can anybody know why? So the biggest risk to NVIDIA is China. Close, but not. They don't make chips in China. What else? Yes. This guy's there. He's got the right answer. Actually, all of NVIDIA's chips are made in TSMC, which is in Taiwan. Now, there is talk that China may take over Taiwan. They may invade Taiwan. Hey, the semiconductor analyst hai bhaiya. Very good. No, good. Bana li, huh? Yeah. That's right. So, NVIDIA ke 100% of chips are made in TSMC in Taiwan. If anything happens to Taiwan, where is NVIDIA's chips? Where are its chips? You can't make it. No, none of the companies in the US can make those chips yet. So that's the biggest risk, if you ask me.
Hello, sir. I am Nikhil Verma. I am a IPM student. So, sir, my question is to you: how can AI improve the cash flow management in large companies?
I'll answer that. Next question.
Sir, my question is what challenges you have faced in IB role? If particular, I am an average student. What thing if I join in IB role? What challenges I am facing the most?
I'll tell you the biggest.
One.
So
Given
the biggest challenge for you is I think you need to just IB roles are very difficult these days, by the way, to get in because there are fewer roles. So what you need to be is the best of the best in best everything. So that's one problem we have, the way people hire. Can anybody do an IB role? I think they could. But if you look at an analyst, year one analyst in an IB role, they are all 80% of the times in the past, they were doing spreadsheets, they were doing presentations. They were not talking to any clients, they were not doing anything else. They were just sitting there and doing their research. That role is changing. So if you bring in AI in your thing, you could be better than most of the others, but you need to have that. Aapka cash flow management ka question, it's very interesting that, with AI, what you can do very easily, maine ek baar kiya tha. I was just evaluating a tenant. And I said, apni bank statements bhejo mujhe. I cannot just take anybody. The bank statements bheji usne. And then I put it through AI. Right? And what happened is, वो उसने बताया कि देखो इसके unscheduled expenses आ रहे हैं. He doesn't have a fixed salary coming in every month. So it has done all the analysis on that and given me a summary. Similarly, once you have bank statements and access to that, you can track, इस company का, Diwali के आसपास, they need a lot of working capital. But then come December, there's a lot of cash. They have 6 months of cash surplus and then 3 months of cash deficit.
Can AI use to reduce the cost of financial management?
Everything. Because if you know what you're going to do, like 3 months mein you need the cash, then you won't you won't invest that cash somewhere and then borrow a loan for 8%, 9%, 10%, or actually small corporate के लिए 13% पे मिलेगा. उसको deposit पे मिल रहा है 6%. So he's losing money. So he'll keep that money and then use it. So they can do all that. And every company can do it. But I don't think people are doing it. How many CFOs have put their statements into the GPT? I don't know. I don't think so many. Thank you very much, guys. I think I found it very enjoyable. Hope it was useful.